Alright guys, continuing with the Beermachine event, second game against JS, who recently beat me in a Who's the Boss competition we had on another weekend. I was playing Circle, he was playing Gators, and he managed to get Epic Gorshade while I picked up P. Haley, and Gorshade's Mage Blight ability really shut me down quite a bit, but won't talk too much about that game. This game features Epic Butcher against Rask, and we've got the scenario here, which is Chemical Reaction or Ammunition Run or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. But as you can see, massive house in the middle and a forest, so there's a bit of a choke point on his objective, his zone, I should say. But we'll see how it goes. Butcher's got several waves of, high damage output that he can sort of send through to the Gators, so hopefully I can outplay him. One advantage I do have going into this game is that JS has already been drinking and I've only had one beer because I've got to drive home for this event. Next photo shows you the setup he's got. This is 50 points, don't forget. We've got Wrestler, Swamp Horror, and we've got Wrong Iron Snapjaw with the Bull Snapper attached to them in the battle group there. So pretty standard Rask list that JS usually plays, nothing too surprising. Some people actually leave their Bog Trogs out and play without them, but he's running them in unit there. Also the Witch Dock. Next photo, I've taken the first turn, and idea here is just to spread out the Doom Reavers so that if he moves forward and feats, I can just pull back. If he moves forward and doesn't feat, I can hopefully send a few of them in. Unfortunately, he does have inhospitable ground out there, so it's going to make life a little bit difficult for me, but eventually once the Iron Fangs get into combat with, Fury upkept on them, hopefully it should be alright, and Butcher can just finish off any survivors as long as the Swamp Horror isn't around there to kill him. Going to the next image, he has moved up without using his feet. He's just put inhospitable ground up. Fairly good move. Zombified the Gatormen as well, and just moving up fairly cautiously. Well, not too cautiously. I mean, he has run a lot of his guys, but staying out of range of too many of the Doom Reavers. Next image, surprise! The Kossites show up in everybody's back arcs. Again, this is Beermachine. If you go to the next photo, you can actually see he's already into his third or fourth drink there. But looking at the Kossites, great unit in these situations because they just move forward and mow down the Bog Trogs because the Bog Trogs are facing away from them and makes it a little bit easier to hit them. And they're just going to be able to sit there shooting the entire game because he can't really afford to send any of his units back to deal with the Kossites, otherwise he'll get charged in the front. So pretty happy about the way that's turning out. Going to the next photo, we've got the Drakon and the Doom Reavers having charged in there against the Gatormen. The point of this is really just to try and get them to commit a bit more to me while I follow up with the rest of the unit behind. Just to create a bit of a scrum, really. That's a New Zealand term which is used in rugby, that hopefully I can take advantage of once Butcher feats and once Butcher starts handing out Fury. So that's the plan. And Kossites reforming at the back, as you can see. Next image, we've got the Chiesi Eliminators sent out front. The idea there being that he's going to actually have to charge them with his Gatormen, which will slow him down and block him up a bit. They are defense 17 in combat, so I'm hoping that he won't roll any 10s, but with the rerolls he's going to have a lot of chances at it. These Chiesi Eliminators belong to Josh, and he tends to write names on the back of his Eliminator bases. The one on the left is Courtney, the one on the right is Jessica. We always joke that they're named after porn stars, but which ones? I think every porn star is called either Jessica or Courtney, right? Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's the situation there under that photo. Let's go to the next one. He does respond by killing the Drakon and the Doom Reavers and the Eliminators, but he has feated at this point, so I can continue feeding him 2 or 3 models at a time, and eventually once he runs out of tricks, I can start committing the rest of my army to him, and that's really the way that you want to deal with Rask in these sorts of situations. Next photo, I've moved in with 2 more Doom Reavers on the right-hand side there. As you can see, there's no way that he can just simply charge past them and attack the Iron Fangs. He has to continue killing them piecemeal, and as that happens, the Iron Fangs get closer and closer, and eventually they'll be able to charge in. They've got Pathfinder on the charge with power 16 or 18 on the CMAs. They are going to be able to kill the Gators quite handily. On the left side of the battlefield, I just have to hold them off from scoring for a while, and the Man of Wars are the best unit to do that with. He's even got a Juggernaut behind their wall. Butcher's staying back because he keeps rolling low on focus, but also I don't want the Swamp Horror charging from all the way over there with Boundless Charge and killing him. So going to move him to the right-hand side of the battlefield as I deal with the Gators on the right. Next photo, again, Gators retaliate and manage to kill the front line of Man of War Shock Troopers and the Doom Reapers as well. But he's in a situation here where he can't keep sustaining these attacks, and in the background you've got the Kossites, which are really fun because they are killing Bog Trogs every single turn. Next time they're going to be actually shooting the Gatorman Witch Doctor, so that he won't get tough. And just a really hilarious unit, really, to use in situations like this. Next photo, you can see their position. I've still got the entire unit intact. They are shooting at Bog Trogs at this point. They can even have a crack at Rask if they want to, but because his defense is quite a lot higher, it's not really worth it. But yeah, the only real danger of fielding a unit like this is that your opponent can accidentally sweep them, with his hand physically as he's trying to pick up his models if he forgets that the unit's actually right next to his, next to his stomach physically, next to the side of the table. The next photo, this is where the tide turns a little bit because I can send in the Iron Fangs, passing the command check caused by the Doom Reaper Abomination, thank God, and wiping out the remainder of the Gators on that side of the flank. The Wrestler is not going to be able to deal with that many troops, and on the left-hand side, although the Gators are doing a lot better that side of the battlefield, Butcher's not in danger, and it's going to take the Gators so long to kill everything on that zone that I'm going to have time to score from his zone and pick up the win. Kossite Woodsman indeed killing the Gatorman Witch Doctor, so he doesn't even have tough available to him at this point. Next photo, again, we've got the Kossites just shooting down everything that they can. I think they're taking some pot shots at the Wrestler even at this point. They're just running out of targets because everything's dying. And yeah, I can't take too many photos of these guys. It's great. Next image, we are running low on troops on the side of the battlefield, but the Man of War Shock Troopers are staunchly holding the line here, and the Swamp Horror trying to just grab them and pull them out of shield wall, which does work. But the best he can do there is try to score 3 points, because I've already scored on his zone at this stage and lost the Juggernaut, but things are looking pretty good. Next image, actually no, this is before I scored. The Wrestler trampled through some of the Doom Reavers, but in the following turn after that, the Iron Fangs are obviously able to just kill him. Butcher able to actually move in and attack him as well if needed. Next photo, rolled a 666 and a 6 to the column. You don't see that very often, about 1 in 1,000 chance of rolling 4 sixes like that. But in the next photo, my opponent finishes his drink to force me to have a reroll, which is the rules of this little event, so unfortunately I had to reroll it, but I got a 444, so still enough to get the job done. And if you check out the next photo, I've moved in here with what I've got left, a couple of Shock Troopers and the Iron Fang Kovnik, still bravely defending the zone from any point scorage, so managing to prevent a scenario loss, let's say. Next image after that, and this will be the last image, you can see that Wrestler's been destroyed. Butcher's run over there and collected 3 control points, and I haven't conceded any control points for my opponent at this stage, so that's pretty much it. Rask tries to kill a few other things, but that's the end of it. So enjoyed this game. Playing against Rask, you do have to be patient to get around his feet, but if you can be very conservative with the way that you commit your high damage dealing troops, he is very beatable, so yeah, it also helps if your opponent's drunk. But more of that later. We're moving to the next round very shortly.